Hello, folks. Dustin Zarni here, Democratic Elections Commissioner in Onondaga County, and welcome to Commissioner in a Car. Today is Thursday, April 3rd. I'm coming to you a little late this week, and it'll be my only content this week because this was Shark Week. That's right. It was petition filing week here in Onondaga County and all over New York. The designating petitions were filed for all of our offices that are running under party positions in New York, with some exceptions, and I'll go over that later in the podcast. But since February 25th, people have been going door to door to get a number of signatures to be able to run for office here in New York, and those people have now filed petitions. And this is how we learn where most of our candidates are coming from for the primary and general election coming up later this year. The primary in June and the general election in November. And, for those of you who don't tune into this podcast, yes, there's an election every year. And this year is what's called the odd year elections. And they are your local offices, town, city, village. Some villages have elections. Well, some villages have elections this year, and Supreme Court. Now, and of course, county legislature here in Onondaga County as well. So there is and when more than one person files petitions for a party line on an office, it creates a primary. And now that all the petitions have been filed, and we have almost 500 different candidates that have filed petitions in Onondaga County, about 150 petitions, then different sets of petitions, because sometimes candidates can appear on multiple petitions for multiple parties, and sometimes multiple candidates can appear on the same petition. So that's why the numbers are about that. And when I'll do a post tomorrow morning with the exact figures for everyone. But since everything has been posted, we know where the primaries are that are going to come up in June. And now the caveat to this list is that just because the petitions have been filed does not necessarily mean that they're going to survive any objections that might come in. That's going to happen over the next 2 weeks. But assuming that they do, these are the races that will have a primary going into the June election. Elbert Supervisor, Republican. Cicero Supervisor, Republican. Cicero Town Councilor, Republican. City of Syracuse Mayor, Democrat. There's 5 different Democrats who filed petitions for that. City of Syracuse Common Councilor at Large. 4 different candidates for 2 positions for that office. City of Syracuse Commissioner of Education. I believe that's 5 candidates for 4 positions. And Pompey Town Supervisor, Republican. And Pompey Town Councilor, Republican, and AD 126 conservative delegates. These are the people who are going to the judicial convention. I'm going to have a whole thing about that in August, but the judicial conventions are they nominate our Supreme Court justice candidates. So that happens, at different times of the year. That happens in August. So those are the primaries. But we kind of also have a inkling of what the general election battles are going to be this fall as well. Now, I didn't print up a list for this, so I'm going to go off the top of my head. Because really this won't be finalized until after the primaries, when the caucuses for many of the Democratic towns put up candidates. So I'm going to list the towns that I know as of right now officially have candidates that will square off in the general election in all the offices in the city of Syracuse that will, and of course, county legislature as well. But if I leave something off the list, I'm sorry, I'm going off memory. But we know, as of today, the towns of DeWitt, the towns of Manlius, the towns of Geddes, the town of Salina, the town of Spafford, all have candidates that are either appearing on, the Democrat, Working Families, and Republican lines. That means that there will be competitive elections in the general election. Now, I expect more because most of the towns that I've not listed on, they have what's called Democratic caucuses. So the Republicans have filed their candidates on the with their petition, but the caucuses happen later on in the year, and that's how they nominate their candidates. So I expect many more towns to be added to the list. The city of Syracuse is not a caucus city, but we do expect there are competitive races for Syracuse School Board, Syracuse Mayor, and Syracuse Commissioner of Education. That means that there's different members on different party lines. And then, of course, in the county legislature, we have competitive races where there's more than one candidate in County Ledge 4, County Ledge 5, County Ledge 6, County Ledge 8, County Ledge 9, County Ledge 10, and I think that's it. I don't think that there's another race where there's a Democrat and a Republican running. Many of these races, there's only Republicans, and many of those races, there's only Democrats. Now, the caveat on all of this is that independent nominating petitions go April 15th to May 27th. And so we could add candidates. We could add lines for candidates at that time. We could see people decide to run and make it a competitive general election because they're running on the independent line. We also have the Supreme Court nominating conventions. Working Families, Conservatives, Democrats, and Republicans all filed delegates. They all expect to nominate candidates in August, and we'll know who those are in August. We've heard of people announcing their candidacy, but until the delegates meet and vote, then that's it. Now, objections. Objections will start coming in over the next couple of weeks. First round of objections are due tomorrow, although we had some objections today. I think objections for that conservative AD 126 delegate race. This is a general objection, not a specific objection, came in today. And on the Pompey Republican supervisor race, there was a general objection filed. Now, general objections mean nothing. All they mean is, hey, we want some more time to look at this. It gives them 6 more days to look at it. When specific objections come in, that's when our bipartisan teams will go through the objections line by line, have a hearing, and determine whether the candidate stays on the ballot. I expect objections. Every local year I expect objections. 2017, the last time we had this many mayoral candidates, there was a host of objections, hours and hours in hearings, as all of the candidates objected to all of the different signatures, and it whittled a couple of people out of the race. I don't want to speculate on who or what might get thrown out this election, but I expect objections, and we'll see where that goes. So that's kind of it. Next week, I won't be doing a weekly wonk this week. because I'm just too busy with the petitions. This is one of our busiest weeks of the year, outside of election weeks. So when votes are being cast, this is one of the busiest. So I decided to do one piece of content, and that's this, to tell you where all the races are happening and what's going on. Next week, on Monday, I will do a commissioner in a car, and that one will focus on Trump's executive order. I wanted to wait another week on that before talking about that, mainly because I wanted to see if any lawsuits were filed, and they were, 3 of them, against it. And so we'll go over that on Monday, why I object so much to that executive order and how problematic it is. And then next week's Weekly Wonk, I'll be looking at Syracuse Common Council District 1, which is having an election this year. And we'll start looking at the city of Syracuse going into that mayoral primary that's happening this June. So thank you very much for tuning in to Commissioner in a Car. As always, you can go to dustinzarny.com and subscribe, get an email subscription. You'll get a notification anytime I have any content or election news. Thank you again, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.